Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tesla Live 109, July 24th, 2019. Well, we have got a show for you tonight. Let me tell you, lots of stuff have happened in the last few seconds before we went to air. We've got an earnings call to talk about. We've got a whole bunch of stories. And as you can see, we have 100 panelists, or maybe one.
Okay, I'm fat, but really, calling me 100 panelists is just rude. I mean, at least I showed up, okay?
Mr. Russell Frost joins us from San Diego. How are you today, sir?
Hello from the bottom left corner of America, Tesla fans.
It's looking sunny out there, at least.
What a day. I mean, if it weren't not for this show that I showed up for, thank you very much, I would be listening to the Tesla Q2 earnings call and getting all of this. And I'm going to have to listen to it after the show. Or that's not a complaint. I would much rather be here with you and with my friend Mark.
Absolutely. So yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff for you tonight, and let's start hitting the books and see what we've got to share. Ooh. And our first story of the evening comes from our friends at Audi, who are doing a little bit of guerrilla marketing lately. And Russell's got that for us.
Guerrilla marketing. Audi apparently has been so excited about the new e-tron that they've been going to, and this is in Germany, okay, but allegedly Audi has been going to Tesla supercharger sites with demo vehicles and offering to show them. They've been putting literature out at supercharger sites. They have been, how do we say, aggressively trying to show people what EV choices they have. Now, I mean, we can argue that maybe it's not cool. Maybe it's not, what's the term? It's not cricket. Going to the, going to the opposite.
You said showing people. I think they're going after specific people.
Well, I mean, clearly, if they're hanging out at supercharger sites, the only people they're going to meet there are Ford F-150 drivers and Tesla owners. So, I mean, maybe the Ford F-150 people will be into it, but clearly they're going, I mean, especially in Germany, let's be clear. Audi is a brand with legendary implications, right? Tesla certainly has huge mind share and is a very popular brand, but Audi in Germany, I mean, this is their home market, their stomping grounds. This is like Tesla going to Detroit and hanging out in front of the GM factories, Hey, you guys want some of this? So,
exactly.
On one hand, it's kind of annoying, right? It's sort of like it feels personally invasive. On the other hand, it's what companies do when they want to aggressively market their product. And I would add, to hear tell from the Tesla folks, Tesla has nothing to worry about because the e-tron is a vastly inferior vehicle.
I would have to agree in a number of platforms that is the case.
So
But you're right. They haven't really got anything to fear. But I just find it. I really love this photo that I've got up here of the e-tron in large letters just on the other side of the Tesla supercharger. Like that is really good there. That one.
I mean, look, marketing to EV enthusiasts, EV owners is not dumb.
No. Certainly they have less of a battle on their hands. There's no education required in most cases. So you've got half the battle won already because people are aware of the vehicles and what they can do, and they're already familiar with the electrified platforms and how they can live with them at home. It's all done for them. So yeah, makes complete sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're trying to sell an EV, you sell it to people that already have EVs. Here's a new EV. What do you think of this? And the other side, of course, again, having been in marketing and having done some of this sort of guerrilla marketing stuff, sometimes you're not necessarily there to make sales. You're also there to gather information. So you're talking to the people who own your competitor's product, and they can find out what they don't like about yours, what they do like about it. I mean, that kind of information is very valuable. Again, you know what? If I was a Tesla owner and I was hanging out at the supercharger waiting for my car to charge, and some dude in an Audi cap pulled up and wanted me to sit in the e-tron, it's a 50-50. I'd be annoyed or I'd be curious.
I know I'd be curious. Like, just the fact that you could, check out the competitor's car and you don't have to do anything for it. It's right there.
It's right
You're
there.
gonna be sitting there for 40 minutes or 30 minutes anyway. So why not? Just makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it seems like insightful marketing on Audi's part.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's
Not bad at all.
I don't think it's going to be an enticement for many people that are, but certainly if you have interest in the EV subject, which almost everybody would, that is at that supercharger, then you could answer a few questions on your own and have someone there that you could ask. So yeah, why would they not take advantage?
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah. Well, our next story moves us from Germany back over to the southern west coast area, Las Vegas.
Viva
The city
Las
of
Vegas.
lights and craziness has found that a new supercharger has opened up on the grounds of Caesar's Palace. And what's unusual with this particular site is that they've placed solar panels on top of most of the site. And I've got a photo here to share.
Oh, I can show that if you like.
That is showing.
Oh, thank you.
And we've got a set of superchargers there. But what you obviously can't really tell from this photo is that all these superchargers are V3s. So version 3 has made its way to the third supercharger in the US. So now we have three of them, the new one, Vegas, Hawthorne, and Fremont. So we've got that little triangle set up. And this particular new supercharger on, again, the property of Caesar's Palace, it has not only the solar array, but it also has a number of power packs on site. So it is able to collect the energy, house it inside the battery, and save Tesla from some of those demand charges that happened for thirsty vehicles. So if you get 20 some cars charging all at the same time, this would allow them to pull from battery packs and save them those some of those overage charges. So, and also, of course, throughout the day, if no one's using it or if there's light use, all those solar panels will go directly into the power packs, and you've saved yourself some money on transmission fees as well. So
absolutely,
number of different ways to save and benefit this particular supercharger.
So I have family and friends in Vegas. I spend a lot of time there, and I think the thing, and I'm definitely not trying to bring anybody down here, but you have to understand that there's no way anybody would sit anywhere outside in Las Vegas most of the year unless it was undercover.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense to throw solar panels on there because they had to put a roof over this. Okay. Or you would literally just like melt into the asphalt.
And that's something that's interests me, is that here in Southern Ontario, we don't get anywhere near that type of heat, but every once in a while we get a week or so of really intense heat. And we even find that the asphalt starts to get soft and car tires can even sink into it a bit and leave indentations in it. They must be using a different type of asphalt in Las Vegas, because that is hot all the time. And I can't imagine there's a parking lot, there'd be bumps all through it. Like, there must be something different.
That is a really interesting point, Mark Coggle. I never thought of that. And yeah,
like when you were in Pennsylvania, you guys would have some hot days or maybe a week, but not sustained like Las Vegas would be.
Yeah, not for months on end.
Yeah, I always thought it was something along the lines, if they had a place like that, they would typically concrete it,
right?
Because different you'd have different. The concrete doesn't melt, so there's no way. But I noticed from the pictures here that this is definitely asphalt. So.
And there's a lot of asphalt in and around that part of Nevada.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Maybe it's a different composition. But
It would make sense, right? Maybe they could vary it a little bit to make it a little more stable in the heat.
Exactly. But kind of interesting. Nice to see. And for people who are going to Vegas or will be in the area and want to look it up, it's right at the base of the Las Vegas Eye that they have built, the large Ferris wheel that's on the strip. So actually, a few people were taking photos of the new supercharger from the wheel, looking down upon it.
There you go. Well, who doesn't look down on? I mean, no, that's not right.
And a number of destination chargers are at the supercharger as well. I believe there's 12 of those.
I have to look and see exactly where this is, because the link is across the street from. The link is probably, I'm not sure where the supercharger is, but the link is probably half a mile from Caesars.
Well, everything is half a mile from Caesars or any casino you park at.
There's that. Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm just wondering, like, where in relationship to these two things. And again, only because, like, yeah, I know it and I've walked all over that place, and who cares? I'll be quiet now. Can we talk about rude people?
Absolutely.
Wow. So I don't want to slander everybody in a white GMC pickup, but apparently this white GMC pickup owner had no problems acting like a jerk. According to a Tesla owner who goes by Audi 999, and that's on YouTube, I guess. He was driving down the road, and this dude in a big white GMC kind of started playing chicken with him from behind, and then passed him and flipped him off and called him some homophobic names, allegedly. Well, thanks to the miracle of the TeslaCam, Artie had this all on video.
Yeah, there was a really nice scene that he was able to record and capture, and ultimately he got to share it with somebody.
Yeah, he shared it with the local police who visited the driver and charged him with some sort of traffic infraction which required an $800 fine.
Yeah, a couple infractions: crossing the white line, which is on the right-hand side of the road. Not supposed to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah, he definitely went off the road.
They caught him after he flipped the bird. They caught him running a red.
Yeah. He that's a moving violation, and those are frowned on.
Yeah, absolutely. So the local RCMP detachment, because this happened in British Columbia, showed up at this gentleman's house and served him with a fine.
The Mounties went, "Hey, dude, could you chill out? Hey," that was my best Canadian accent.
Fabulous Canadian accent.
Oh my God. Boom. I humiliated myself in front of thousands of Tesla fans just now. I'm sorry. So yeah, I was just on the verge this week of being like, you know what? At some point, hopefully soon, we're going to get to the point where every little thing that happens on a TeslaCam isn't news.
I'm waiting for the site. There's got to be someone that's fired up a site called TeslaCam. And everybody uploads their most recent.
Mark, stop! Why aren't you doing this right now? Do it before Seth Weintraub does it. Okay.
I do not have the time to do this. No.
You so have.
But if someone does, please let us know, and we'll link to it, because
there we go.
There's going to be with 350,000 of these cars now on the road. This type of content is just going to happen more and more, and I think the stuff's just going to get more bizarre as time goes along.
Yeah, and more mundane. Like, I don't need to see anybody else keying a Tesla.
Right.
I get it. Yeah. It's cool. And it's great. And
it's not cool and great. It's
It's cool that you get it on video. It's cool. I'm not saying that people should vandalize Teslas. That's not even me. I mean, but it is the one good thing about this is I'm hoping this is putting a lot of pressure on the other OEMs to incorporate some version of this into their vehicles.
Yeah.
Because it's way long past due. I don't need to go buy an owl cam to do this, or I shouldn't need to, right? Because
Right.
Ford should provide one. Well, they don't. So I have to go to somebody like TeslaCam, and I've used their name twice. Are they sending us any money?
Well, we're going to find out after the show.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't one of the competitors, because then I just screwed that endorsement up totally.
Well, since we have 0 endorsements, I don't think you've screwed it up at all.
So we've gone from 0 to 0.
You can't go below 0 in endorsements. Actually, you probably could. We could probably get a cease and desist from a lawyer.
Yeah. Just going to say, get some kind of DMCA takedown.
That would probably be a negative. Yes.
Yeah. Never mention my client's brand name again, ever. So this is cool, and TeslaCam is cool, and it's great, and now that it's a little more stable than it used to be. I know initially there were some problems with the flash drives and all that. I haven't heard as much griping now, so I'm hoping that's settled. This is a really cool feature that all vehicles should have.
Exactly.
Yay for Tesla.
Yep.
On being the leaders there.
And on to our next.
Everybody in the audience is like, Russell said something good about Tesla.
Remember, the show's recorded, so you can go back to that clip anytime you want. If Russell's being a little crazy one day, you can go back and say, well, he did say good things about it, because it's on show 109. Yes.
Yeah, show 109.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next story is just a little Twitter feed. And by the way, if you don't know already, if you're not involved with this, you should follow us on Twitter, because that's where all the stuff happens every day throughout the week. So if you haven't already, set up a Twitter account. If you have one, just follow to @TheTeslaLife, and you can see what's going on all throughout the week. And since we're on the shameless plug, we may as well go all the way. Also, if this is the first time watching the show, please press the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and if
ring
you
the
would
bell
like to get alerts when the show starts, ring that bell, and you will get automatic alerts whenever a show hits the air live. So you will never miss a minute.
Polite alerts, not respectful alerts, not annoying banners and blinking signs. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So give us a like. That's really important. That gets us in front of new eyeballs. So click that like button, and we'll be watching. We'll see how many people are logged into the show, and we will be checking.
Mark will be. I don't care. I'm fine with you guys either way.
It's like dark and light on the same show.
It's just kind of Bad Cop, Good Cop. It should be the name of the show. Bad Cop, Good Cop. And I don't even we're switching roles back and forth. I'm not even sure.
It could go either way, couldn't it, Russell?
Yeah. Mark looks a little mean right now.
So here's an interesting little video that was on our Twitter feed, and we will see if we can get it to play.
Is this porn?
No, it's not porn. No.
Darn. Because I'm missing the Tesla call. Oh, I know what this is.
And it fails. Look
the
at
media
that.
Cannot be played. Are you using Safari? Look, it's a miracle. It's going backwards.
It's fighting with it. Just fighting with it.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
anyways,
that's how it ends.
This is the end part. But there was one of those Tesla toy cars. Here it is. Scrolls down, drops into the pool, and thankfully floats around. So it didn't sink immediately. It just floated for a while. And as you saw previously, Dad got into the pool, saved the day, and here he comes. Sees his child's in trouble, jumps in the pool, grabs the car, and pulls it out. No harm done. So that was interesting. And of course, the #1 comment on that video was autopilot engaged.
Exactly. Another autopilot accident. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Because the kid drove straight into the pool. There was no
right into the pool.
No braking. Just
exactly.
I need to go here.
Not a swerve, nothing. Yeah. But to be fair, there were no lines on the pool deck. So
well, My thought was that he had that Easter egg Bond submarine car.
Right. It was
Engaged.
going to transform into the
Yeah.
into the Bond car right
That's
there.
how it. Want to go for a little submarine action, which would have freaked Dad out a lot too, I guess.
Yeah,
probably,
absolutely.
Well,
last week we talked a little bit about an event that we're going to have up here in Kitchener.
Mississauga? I don't even know how to say that.
Mississauga.
Mississauga
is how it's pronounced. So we were talking about the event we're putting on, which of course is going to be on August 24th on a Saturday here in Kitchener. And if you are in the area and want to partake in the Tesla barbecue, you can visit the website and sign up, www.tinyurls.com/TeslaBBQ. But before that event, there was an event this past weekend in Mississauga, Ontario, which is a suburb of Toronto, for those who do not know. And there were about 40 Tesla owners showed up to partake, and just got some photos from the event. So we've got some people hanging around the vehicles. We've got a lot of talk going on. And of course, we have the lineup of cars all over the place. It was at a Buffalo Wild Wings and CIBC branch was the mall, or the two businesses that were close to the parking lot in this larger mall. But this was basically Winston Churchill and 401 in Mississauga, Ontario.
You know what you're not seeing, Tesla Life viewers? You're not seeing photos of Mark surreptitiously removing aero wheel covers from unattended vehicles.
Well, look, this one has none right here.
Yeah. Where are they, Mark? Where are they?
I cannot say.
Yeah, suspiciously this week there's an extra set. I'm not all behind him.
Look at that. That one's empty too. I don't know how that happened. Yeah. Those aero wheels, they come off real easy, by the way. So
whoopsie. That looks like fun. Ooh, what's that? Is that vinyl?
That is a plastic cover across the entire car, a wrap that's see-through, but it's a little frosty. So it makes the gray color kind of look matte a little
pearly and matte. Yeah, that's nice looking.
And you get the full protection of the plastic coating because it's the same thickness as the regular clear plastic coating, but it gives the car a different shine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And a lot less waxing.
That's right. And then this, of course, is the toughest car to keep clean on Earth. A completely black car. It, if you look at it even wrong, it gets dusty.
I've had several of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no hope. You just cannot stop the dust that continually happens.
It's you just give up. You throw up your hands. You go, okay, my car's a little dirty.
Well, speaking of dust and dirt, that leads right into our next story.
Dust and dirt?
Yeah, because there's going to be some digging apparently.
Well, allegedly. So just recently, the annual Hyperloop competition was completed, and Elon has announced that in an effort, because they're hosting, of course, well, that's what they do, the 2020 competition, they're going to build a new tunnel for this. This is a 10-kilometer tunnel that will support a full vacuum. Now, the old one was 1.6 kilometers. It was a 1-mile tunnel. And
look at you talking in kilometers like you know it.
I know, right? And I said kilometers, not kilometers. like American, like 1.6 kilometers.
Texan, how
you doing? I don't think that. Well, maybe it was Texas. Anyway, a 10-kilometer, that's 6.2 miles for those of you in the lower 48. And as opposed to the other one where it was a 1-mile straight, this is going to feature a curve track, which if you saw any of the video from this year's competition of the cute little Hyperloop test vehicles self-destructing in the tunnel, which is, it's okay. They're not supposed to, but that happens. That's part of the process. This is going to add a new wrinkle because they're going to have to navigate that curve to some extent. So
Right.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And obviously they have 1 year to dig and prep this tunnel.
Yeah, so the thought is that will it be an above ground test track, which is what's at SpaceX now. That 1 mile one is currently basically a tube that runs beside a road, an access road beside SpaceX. And the thought is with a 10-kilometer run, they may have to bury it based on space. So there could be some extra work for the boring company.
I don't think they got a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they got that Maryland thing going on, and of course the Las Vegas Convention Center thing is happening. But yeah, they got some time. They do.
They probably got an extra boring machine laying around somewhere.
So but this is great. This of course is moving technology forward. The students or the companies that run these particular sleds through the current one, they of course are vying to get a prototype better and better that runs faster, more efficient in these vacuum tunnels. And of course the vacuum tunnels are the basis of the Hyperloop, which would propel possibly people and items worldwide, possibly faster and cheaper than what is currently available. So this is technology that's very interesting to watch, and it'll be interesting to see if this will propel it or make it faster.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea, I mean, we're talking about speeds 463 kilometers an hour. Now, all the Americans are like 288 mph, 288 miles per hour. That's fast.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
That's
so
fast.
we'll see next year. It'll be with the new track, hopefully.
Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, yeah, it's cool to see these teams. This kind of goes back to the old days of alt cars, where there was like the Tour del Sol, where schools and colleges and other nonprofits competed against each other.
Exactly.
I like that because that's building your future engineers, your future customers too. That's a good thing.
Definitely. Well, next story is about.
Do we have another story?
Oh, yeah, the exciting world of wiring.
Ooh, wiring
and wiring harnesses.
Wiring
can't get much more exciting than that, really. But a new patent had been released by Tesla that talks about a different type of wiring harness, or really a harness less. It's a lot less. What they're basically talking about is, in traditional cars, you would run a wire from the front of the car, or the access point where the driver would access it, or an automated system would access it, to the device, like say your trunk opener for the back. You press your button and your trunk opens. Well, that wire runs from the front with a button down the frame of the car, somehow snakes its way into the back, and then connects to some sort of actuator in the trunk. And of course, with every different electronic device or measuring device or actuator, a new wire is required. So you end up with these rivers of wire that are running down the side of the car in different pockets or crevices of the car. And you get these large wiring harnesses that as more and more wires run to the back, they cable them together, and you've got this thick river of wire that runs to the back. It's been said that in the Model S currently, there are 3 kilometers worth of wire in that one car. Every car has 3 kilometers of wire. With the Model 3, they were able to cut that down to 1.5 kilometers of wire. So certainly they were able to cut it in half. But this new patent, it almost makes the car basically a circuit board. And what will happen is that there'll basically be a circuit board of communication that runs down both sides of the car, or a single side. And the device plugs into that circuit board, and so does the button that activates it, or the actuator, or whatever it is. And basically the car will be able to send a signal down the circuit board, which will alert the actuator to unlatch, or whatever the function is. So it's kind of cool that they'll be able to reduce wire, they think, by somewhere over 90% from a traditional car. But of course, there may be problems with this new circuit board or whatever, but it is an interesting idea and something that the auto industry is not doing currently at all. So this is another new idea that Tesla has looked at for propelling their development and for making things cheaper and faster. It also helps apparently with automation, with robots. A robot is much easier to punch something onto a circuit board than it is to string wire through a car through certain crevices and maneuver it around to get to its endpoint. So there can be some definite pluses in this. Now, there is no indication to whether or not this is going to be used in a upcoming car, like say the Model Y. We don't know any of that, but it is interesting technology, and we'll have to see if it starts showing up in new models.
It's an interesting idea. I mean, it's been tried before, and so far not very well implemented by other companies. GM, I think, did what was called a multiplexing version, where they would put one wire to a box, and then that box would separate it out to the various functions, right? Rather than going point to point,
right,
with all those wires. The problem was you would hit the horn button, and then a little bit later, the horn would go, so you're, that's frustrating.
Yeah, that would be frustrating if it's not real time. Absolutely.
That's really tedious. And it kind of leads to like things where, oh, look, summer barbecue. Hey.
Yeah.
And then it leads to things like, doing things again. I think was this Chrysler maybe that had a horrible habit of, they would run everything through the stereo system.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you took the stereo out, the car wouldn't function. The turn signals didn't work. The horn, and why did they do that? Well, obviously they wanted you to buy the best stereo. They didn't want you to take their cheap piece of. So, there are downsides. Look at the fiber optic system that Mercedes tried a few years ago. Yeah, that nearly led to a class action suit. So this is if Tesla can pull this off, it's a huge, huge plus for them.
Was that positive, Russell?
You know what? I'm just trying to pick off the people in the chat room.
This is show 109. Okay? The
Take back another
Russell
drink.
Show.
Take back another drink. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, I know, right?
Like you don't even know you don't even know how to react.
Don't even know. No.
I'm just trying to keep you.
You're keeping it even keeled for us all.
Absolutely.
Love it. Next, we've got something that Russell knows about New York State.
I do. Oh yeah. So apparently, the lovely state of New York. Which of course, who doesn't love now anyway, there are some commissioners on the New York State's Public Service Commission, which oversees public utilities. They want Tesla to open up their supercharger network to other vehicles, or this utilities commission will take away some benefits that Tesla receives on electricity rates. Actually,
Tesla's not getting the benefits now, and they asked for the benefits to be given to them.
Oh, my bad. See what happens when you don't read the article you're talking about? So, yeah.
But the same thing. They're being put pressure on to open these superchargers up to other EVs.
This is an interesting...
How on earth could that ever possibly work?
Well, I mean, it would be easy enough just to say that Tesla will allow people with adapters to use their network. Tesla can easily defeat anybody's adapter that they make now, but Tesla could just as easily say, okay, in New York, we have to let people with adapters use our thing and pay our rates. Now, I don't know the details, how it would all come down.
Yeah, nobody does at this point. It's just,
I don't
it's all
know
in the air.
how practical it is, but it's an interesting application of state authority dangling, I guess. Potentially Tesla wants a discount. Tesla won't get that discount unless they open up to other vehicles. If that happens, that's a game changer in a lot of ways. If Tesla had to open up all of its superchargers to other vehicles, wow. I mean, the implications there are mind-boggling for Tesla customers and for non-Tesla customers.
Yeah, because of course, certainly the supercharger network now is such a set up in such a way that you don't have to do anything at supercharger. There's no credit card flash. There's no swiping of anything. The car knows who you are. The system knows who the car belongs to, and it gets billed to that proper person based on their Tesla account. Bringing other cars into the equation, it would throw that completely off. You'd have to introduce card swipers and all sorts of electronic things that would be able to track who actually got the charge, so they could be charged through their credit card or their connection.
The easy way to do it would just be to put an ID in each adapter. You have to go to the Tesla website and register your adapter and attach a credit card to it.
Right.
And then it would act just like the car.
So force them to go out and get an adapter that's serialized, and we know
they would have to have the specific adapter, which Tesla might be the only company that sells, and it's $12 million. I have no idea. You can see, but it's a super interesting idea, and I think in a way it's kind of unfair. This is what's wrong with me. But Tesla built this network; it's their network.
Yeah.
Now they don't necessarily have to get benefits from the state, but I don't see that the state has legitimate authority to say you have to open this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless they're dangling a benefit and saying, we'll give you this if you change.
Right. But and that's what apparently is happening.
Yeah. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Do you see any idea that,
I can't see that Tesla would open themselves up to this in one state. I really don't. Because then that would be precedent, and all the other states could be clamoring for the same thing. But it's interesting that the piece that a state is trying to make them change or put pressure on them to change, kind of like what happened in Europe, kind of like what happened in China, where different charging standards. Europe said, we need you to have a CCS, and Tesla eventually put in a CCS on the Model 3.
Right.
And China has a different charge port, a different configuration. So, they have bent in the past, but that's never happened in the US.
No, well, they've never had to, number one, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever put the screws to them. And I do think it's a good thing, like in Europe, in the EU, that they use CCS. I mean, the idea that there's these overlapping networks of chargers is great. If you have a massive network that is just for your customers, that's fine. But in general, it's a kind of antisocial thing to do,
Yeah. I would like to see, and I don't know if this is possible, it's probably because of the cost of the level 3 chargers for the other guys, is I would love Tesla to put in a couple of the regular chargers at every supercharger site, so that we have a couple of dedicated ones for other vehicles. That's probably never going to happen either, but that would be interesting.
And charge high prices and make hella good money on it.
Yeah,
right.
And of course, show competitor people driving a Leaf or a Bolt or what. You can see all the Teslas drive in as you're charging. Like it's allows them to see the competition. It allows them to say, we've got a better system. You can be part of it, and we'll let you charge for whatever dollars per hour. But look across the road here, or look across the parking lot. We've got a better way for you to move on for your next vehicle.
I want to apologize to Derek, who apparently is getting sober in the chat room. Sorry, Derek.
Are you looking at the chat room, Russell?
I'm glancing at the chat room. I wish I could spend more time, because I feel like I feel like there's like I'm surrounded by
it's
TV
too much
screens.
to do. I
There's
know
too much to
exactly
do,
it
but-
splits your head in too many ways, and you can't concentrate on anything.
But everybody's in there, and I'm like, oh, okay, hi. There's Rick and Hockey Day, and yeah, Hockey Day. You were totally wrong. 100 million profit. Oh, sorry. We'll get to that. Hey, everybody gets to have a drink.
And if you're in there, someone check on how many likes are in there and how many people are in the chat room, and you guys sort it out for yourselves. Get the thumbs up going if it hasn't happened already, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
isn't that
Yeah,
nice of
please
me to
do hit
say?
that thumb up. I guess, am I supposed to like be monitoring that?
No,
Okay.
we're down on people tonight, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
kind of
down
running on a
staff.
skeleton staff. So
Yeah, I kind of like this sort of back and forth though.
yeah, it's working well.
Like, it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Next,
Okay.
we're going to talk a little bit about the trouble with cones.
Oh, cones! I hate cones. Cones deserve to be knocked down.
To be specific, construction cones. Those big, large construction cones that we see on a highway, and they appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you can see this is a photo from a gentleman's Model 3 that happened to come into a construction zone while he was on autopilot.
Yeah, happened.
And took down about 11 of them before he stopped or got them out of the way. I think it's before he stopped, actually. And the cones were starting to stick to the front of the car later in the video. You can watch it through the link that we'll post later. But what happened here was that there was no construction sign to move over. Typically, those lit arrows that you see at the beginning of a construction site. Well, apparently they didn't put that up in this particular case, apparently. And this person started to drive through them. In the beginning of the video, he was beside a transport truck, and all of a sudden you can see the first cone coming on the horizon. Now, was this gentleman paying attention? I'd say no, because watching the video, you could clearly see the cones were coming. And the first instinct I would have is, I don't know, press the brake, slow down.
Right?
No, certainly not continue at highway speed and get up closer so I could read the serial number on the first cone. That would not be what I'd be doing. But autopilot didn't react either. Again, allegedly, he was on autopilot.
Allegedly.
But we've seen this stuff in the past as well. Autopilot does have problems with stationary objects. We've seen in the past about a fire truck being hit in the back twice.
Yeah.
So could this be part of that problem that we've seen last year? It could be. Again, this is all alleged, just based from an interview done and, of course, a video shown. But we don't have the real facts. All we're repeating what we've been told is what we're doing.
Derek, that's hilarious. Those are cones of silence, says Derek Ludwig in the chat.
That might be a show title.
That's why they couldn't stop.
The cone of silence. Yeah.
I mean, silence. So I'll offer an alternative opinion and get everyone well lubed in the chat room. This is a gross failure of Tesla's systems, of AP and of AEB. Okay. Now, we can talk about the beginning of this. Was there a transitional sign that AP might have picked up that said this? I mean, I've watched the video a couple of times, and it kind of starts with like we see the cones off on the left yellow line, and then they start encroaching. So clearly it was this lane's ending, move over. Yeah. And there was like a garbage truck or a truck or something in that middle lane. So the Tesla driver needed to either accelerate or slow down to get into that empty lane. The car seemed to maintain the same speed and plowed right into the cones as though they weren't there. I'm here to tell you, a lot of other cars with AEB would not have done that. Like a Corolla with AEB would not have done that.
Well, we'd have to take a Corolla out and try it. But
I know I've driven the Corolla with AEB. I guarantee it wouldn't have done that. Now, I have seen with AEB systems in some cars, and I'm not going to mention those companies' names, but interestingly enough, when you're in your lane and something encroaches from the right, usually from the right, not, but sometimes the left, but usually the right, cuts you off and then slows down, the AEB doesn't kick in quite as quickly as it should. And yeah, that's why a few of these extra hairs are gray, because wow.
Because you've experienced that for real.
Yeah, I had a few holy shit moments on video, like, why didn't it, because I'm just waiting for the safety system. If I don't wait for them, I don't know if they work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous job right there.
Thank you. And you know what? I get paid for that, right?
I know exactly what you get paid for.
Same thing you get. So, this is, I see this as
I don't know if this is more of it. Is this, again, if autopilot was on and if it did not react, which it looked like in the video it didn't, then we've got more of the same fire truck thing as far as I can see.
Definitely. I would agree with you. This is an issue with whatever you want to call Elon. Is it neural net or is it blah, blah, blah? The cameras aren't identifying a stationary object the car is approaching or hitting, and it needs to.
Yeah.
And, if those things were filled with water, as some roadblocks are, or if God forbid they were cement pylons or something, this wouldn't be a funny haha story.
No, it wouldn't be. Yeah, it would be. It would be a death, or it would be a grave injury.
A very sad story. So, it's funny because they're empty plastic cones, and he, scuffed up his front end and wrecked some cones, and that's kind of funny. But I hope Tesla seriously addresses this issue.
I really, I don't know why it's stationary, or we've had this stationary thing come up before, but man, they've got to be aware of it, because this is not the first time that something's stationary. But again, it's a good warning to anyone that uses autopilot. You're still in charge of that car, and you need to be paying attention the full amount of time that you're there. And that's nothing new. It's not like you don't see that warning every time you turn on autopilot, and it's why the wheel nags you to make sure you're still there. But again, this type of situation happened allegedly on autopilot. I would be at your most attention when using it.
Absolutely. LiDAR. LiDAR. That's all I got.
Okay.
I'm kind of a real big jerk. Oh, here we go. Get your cocktails ready.
End of the day. Guess what happened? The earnings call happened after market close on the East Coast, and Tesla came out with the actual numbers, financial numbers, and they indicated that what did they lose? About
$408 million
gross
loss
in Q2.
Correct.
They lost $1.12 per share. Wall Street expected them to lose about 58 cents a share. So the loss was a little bit larger than what Wall Street anticipated. And that's always good for stock price, as you know, if Wall Street doesn't think you did what you should have done. The other part of it,
$30 a share. And
aftermarket trading is out, and but that's nothing. That's not a big surprise. And Tesla also ended the quarter with about $5 billion, B as in billion, in the bank. So
allegedly,
so they seem to be. They have a healthy amount of money in the background. Actually, that's the most they've ever had banked at any quarter. And what were some of the other numbers, Russell, that I skipped?
Well, let's see. So gross margin, which is certainly an issue when you have a company that is selling lots of things but not making money on them, was down a bit at about 19%. Tesla was hoping for an above 20% number, and obviously that came in lower. Clearly, we all know why. They've cut prices a few times on S and X and on 3. So, it's hard to keep your gross margins up when you're cutting the price.
Right. So
that's not a value judgment. That's just it is what it is.
it's math, isn't it?
Yeah, it's math. And I was an art major, but I know that much math. The Shanghai factory appears to be coming along. They have pictures of them installing robots and equipment, working on the interior, which is amazing. And I don't say that in a sarcastic manner. I say that in a damn, China is kicking ass on Shanghai. It's
the factory build is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah,
in
it
any
really
type of
is.
a build schedule.
So clearly this is a priority project for a lot of people, and they have thrown enormous resources into getting this factory up and running ASAP, because this is much faster than the typical factory of this size that makes something as complicated as an automobile goes up and gets finished and all of that. This is unusual. Again, that's not a value judgment. I'm saying it's bad. It's amazing. It's cool. So good for Tesla on that.
And they're saying that there's not Tesla, not in the earnings call, but other analysts have said they expect that factory will be starting to pump out cars in the late case of November of this year. Others have said earlier. So we will see.
We'll see. Model Y preparation started this quarter. Again, Tesla points to the significant overlap in 3 and Y components. They are saying that it will be a minimal cost to do the switchover, and they are hoping that the insatiable American demand for SUVs will make Model Y even more popular than 3.
Yeah. And that production, again, is on track for the fall of 2020, is what they're saying.
Allegedly.
Well, it's a forward-looking statement, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. Tesla has just today rolled out one of the silliest things I've ever seen: 24-hour solar. But they're and we'll get to that maybe in a second, or maybe not. It doesn't matter. They are saying that Powerwall and PowerPack increased in the second quarter. I'm guessing most of that is PowerPack. I have not seen numbers on Powerwall deployments, but allegedly Tesla is doing more in the solar business.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk about the 24-hour thing?
Sure. Shoot that down.
Tesla announced today that they had their first customer just about 3 miles from my house in Vista, California, get a 24-hour solar install. According to Tesla, this customer signed up online, ordered the system, and 24 hours later, it was installed on that customer's house.
Come on.
So
24 hours. Come on.
Here's the reality. Back in the old days when I was at Tesla, you can easily do 2 or 3 solar installs a day. This was with trained Tesla crews, with components that they were used to working with, and the Tesla survey process and setup process was very detailed. Now, how does that work on a house that hasn't been surveyed? And I don't know. Obviously, Tesla would not have announced this if it was a horrible failure. But what happened is this guy signed up for it, got it. They went the next day, put it on his house. Now he can't use it because the local people have to
it's got to be
inspect
certified
it
or something, right?
Yeah. And SDG&E is famous for dragging their heels. So this guy's going to have this system on his house for a month. He's going to make a payment on it, and it's not going to be doing very much of anything.
But still, that's incredible to have it up.
It isn't. I mean, I guess
it is and
it isn't.
You don't get a 24-hour turnaround here. I can guarantee that.
If I want to go buy a car, I can go to the car dealer and drive it home.
Yeah.
Nobody goes, "Wow, that's amazing." Now, it's buying a car off a lot and getting a solar system installed on your house is totally different. But we're talking about a small system. This is a 4 kilowatt system. It's tiny. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's not very difficult. to do the install. Now,
well, a 4 kilowatt would be like a dozen panels, right?
It'd be like 4 panels.
Really? Just 4 for 4 kilowatt? No, it'd be more than that.
No, it wouldn't be. You're right. No, it'd be like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
It's still not a huge system. The other thing so number one, I'm glad that Tesla's selling solar. Number two, if they can get people to sign up with this and it's legit, good for them. But hopefully the customers know that when they sign up, the next day they're not going to get an operational system. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're not getting an operational system with anybody. Like
No.
I would say the faster it's up, the better, regardless. Whether PG&G turns it on or not.
Well, again, so let's say it takes a month to get certified, which is very common. Okay, at least in San Diego. If back in the old days, you went through a process that took about 30 days to get you set up for an install. Okay. And in the process of that, there were home surveys done. There were engineering surveys done. There were permits pulled. There were all kinds of things. Okay. So the customer was educated from the very first encounter that this was a process. This wasn't going and buying a product. This was a process, and we would never have said this, but like a remodel. Okay. I feel like maybe I'm just going on too much, but maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
We'll see if more happen in this way. We'll see. Last thing I wanted to touch upon was some of the future statements in the quarter end call. And just one of the future statements really stuck out. It was that they believe that going forward, that they will be profitable or self-sustaining from this point forward. Now, if you remember, 1 year ago today, almost, that's when Elon said he was not going to be borrowing any more money. And of course, Tesla had 2 profitable quarters in a row, the first 2 they've ever had. And those were at the same time frame, third and fourth quarter. So obviously they believe that they're going to go into a third and fourth profitable quarter, all things being even. But they believe that now with the, I guess, the maturity of the Model 3 market and the production up to a speed, they believe that they'll be profitable from this point forward after the third and fourth quarter as well. So we will see, but it is a good sign if they can be profitable and continue to be profitable through third, fourth, and first and second of next year. That would be spectacular. So that would be a new feat for Tesla to overcome, and we certainly hope they do so. And with that, I would like everybody who hasn't clicked the thumbs up button to do it now. Press that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe, get hooked up to this free podcast, give us another number. We'd really appreciate it. And of course, we would love if you follow us on Twitter at The Tesla Life or on Facebook, The Tesla Life #1. And with that, Russell, do you have any parting words? Maybe to a special Lee Moon.
I got like half an hour. Okay, take a break.
We don't have half an hour.
So first, I want to thank my mom. Thanks to Lee Moon for the theme music. Lee composed, performed, and lets us play it for free. Thank you, Lee. Thanks to everybody in the chat room, of course. Love you all. Even if you're just making fun of me, that's okay. At least you're talking to me. You can see both Mark and I, or at least me, on What Drives Us in an hour at youtube.com/whatdrivesus. But of course, one other thing, when Mark said, do hit that subscribe button, do hit the bell. Also, maybe take a second sometime this week, just once, share the Tesla Life on Twitter or share the YouTube channel with some friends of yours. Tell your friends that it's cool. That's all. I'm not asking for an endorsement or anything like that. Just say, hey, it's cool. Check this out. That's all we can do.
Perfect. And with that, we're going to cue our music and we will let everyone off for the week. Have yourselves a good week. And we will see you all next week and find out what is going on in the Tesla life. Bye-bye. Good night, everybody. great week.